Hello guys, so I am here today to discuss the basic PL SQL Block syntax, and number 2 is the PL SQL Print, and number 3 is a PL SQL code declaring 3 variables and printing each value with an applied identifiers for variable name. So let's start. PL SQL Block. So this is called block because the code that is executed in here is executed by group and is a single element. So that's why it is called block. So the structure of PL SQL block is divided in 3 sections, which is the declaration section, execution section, and exception handling section. So in declaration section, this is where the declaration of variables, cursors, exceptions, subprograms, program instructions, and collections that are needed in the block. So this is where it happens. And also this section is optional. You can skip this section if there is no declarations needed. So that's it. Next to declaration section is the execution section. So this part is mandatory, so for which in this section the execution of codes occur, or this is where the execution of codes happen. So this section should contain at least one executable codes. So this should start with the keyword begin and followed by end keyword as you close your program, but only if there is no exception handling section present, so you can put the end keyword immediately. So for our third one, the exception handling section. So exception handling section is where you handle the errors. So this is the third section and it must be next to the execution section, so and followed by the end keyword. So this section is optional also, so if ever this section is you don't have to put the exception handling section. So the end keyword you will put it immediately right after the execution section. So for the last one is the end keyword. So the end keyword must be put at the very bottom of the program, so it marks the program as ended. So and the slanting line below the end keyword serves as a sender to a compiler, so it sends a message that the block is ended. And for the second part, we have the PL SQL Print. So we're going to discuss more about this topic. So as you can see, I skipped the declaration section and go directly to execution section. So I started with begin keyword. So I have a written code here, the dbms.output.put underscore line, and I close and open parentheses, and inside is 2 commas. I forgot what is it called, but let me call it commas for now. So commas above, so between those commas that is my last name, so which is our value to be printed, and always end with semicolon, and then the end keyword. And as you can see below, I set the server output on. So what does it do? So the server output setting controls whether SQL Plus prints the output generated by the DBMS output package from the PL SQL procedures. So that's how it works. And below is our printed. And so for our third part, we have here the PL SQL code declaring variables and printing each value with an applied identifiers for variable name. So what is identifier? So basically, identifier is a name given to a PL SQL object. So the object could be constant, variables, exception, cursors, procedures, function, package, trigger, object type, so reserved word or label. So the identifier I use for the variable is the LV, so the local level variable no, of a varchar data type. So and the other one is the LN, so the local level variable of a number data type. So now let's continue to the topic. So here I declared some variables. So identifier LV underscore variable names, varchar2 type, so it's with a size of 25. So you can see below I declared the same variable and I assigned the value to my last name, and same to the others. So the purpose of that is in the execution section. So in the execution section, I assigned the value of first variable to the second variable, and same for the following. So and then printing the values. So using the every first variable and so on. So as you can see below, that will be the output of our code. So this process is the same with the slide that I borrowed from my friend. So this is my friend's work. So our process seems different, so but as you can see, we have same output. So that would be all for our video, guys. I hope you learned something. See you on the next video.